Okay, so today I wanted to make a confession. I've never really actually confessed this to anyone besides like someone that's really close to me. But throughout my whole life, um, I've struggled with ADD, and it feels funny saying that because as a kid, I used to always make fun of the kids who had ADD, or I didn't really make fun of them, but I didn't believe them. I thought it was an excuse. And there were a lot of um, people in high school, middle school, grade school, growing up that would take things for their ADD. They would have, they'd have to take extended tests, or they would take Adderall or, medication. And I would laugh because I just thought it was made up until later on did I realize that I had it. And what's funny is even during those times when I would laugh and think, oh, like, paying attention is just, that's just a choice. Like you're just choosing not to pay attention. Yet I was struggling with paying attention, but I thought that it was a choice. I always struggled to pay attention to certain things. I had like issues with reading. It's not like I couldn't read, but whenever I did, and I think there are a lot of people who will do this, but for me, it was like really, really bad. When I would read, I couldn't focus. Like all these thoughts would be going in and out of my head, and I would get angry, and I would tell myself that I was stupid. And I just thought that I was stupid. I didn't think that I had ADD. And it's also the way other people would make me feel, like I just things that weren't important to me or interested things that didn't interest me, I just didn't want to pay attention. And it wasn't even that I didn't want to, I almost couldn't pay attention. And then later on people would make fun of me, say, oh, you don't know this, or oh, you don't remember, oh, well, like you're stupid, or like it was just the way people made me feel. And little did I know, later on I find out that like decades later, I find out that I have ADD. I mean, my friend approached me and told me, hey, I've been watching these videos about it. And, this is my best friend from high school. And she said, I think that you might have it. And she's like, it kind of explains, she's like, I never really understood. She's like, you were always very smart, but then you were kind of like very forgetful, or there's certain things that you just like didn't want to retain. And then she's like, you didn't get as good of like, test scores. I didn't get bad grades, but I was horrible at tests. And she was like, but it wasn't because you weren't trying. She's like, people think that, like, especially people with or people with ADD, they think that they're not trying, or people think that they're not trying. She's like, but you try really hard. So it's a mixture of like, I would try, and I remember reading and trying so hard to read, but I would sit there and read the same paragraph over and over again for like an hour. And I would hear other people say, oh, I have the same problem. I'll read something and it goes out the door. But I don't think it would take them an hour to read one paragraph. For me, it was just like I felt like I was drowning. And that word drowning like clicked with me so much because I heard someone else say that. Someone on that was in these YouTube videos that was explaining ADD, she said, if like when you do a simple task, like just something very simple, like it's like an organizational task, like putting something into a folder on your desktop, like it feels, sometimes it can just be so difficult and you feel like you're drowning. And when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly how I feel. And I always thought it was because I was just stupid or slow. But I was really good at math. I was always really good at math. And that was one thing I would hold like high as in pride, was, well, I'm not fully stupid because I'm better than all of you. So but then I wouldn't do well on math tests. or I wouldn't do as well as I could have. Instead of getting like 100, I would get like a 90. And it was only because of silly mistakes, because I wasn't paying attention. It was never because I just didn't understand it or didn't know it, because I always felt like I understood it. I would just forget to put like the negative sign, or I'd forget to put one parenthesis on one side. And it was just like, because I was forgetful. So anyway, I wanted to talk about this so that anyone who has gone through what I've gone through can relate, and can feel better about, if you felt this way before too, you can feel better about yourself and about what you felt, because it doesn't mean that you're dumb. It doesn't. And people will make you feel that way, or try to make you feel like an outsider, because you are. I mean, we are in a way kind of like outsiders, because a lot of times people are talking and I can't understand what they're saying, or I can't focus because it's a topic that just doesn't like interest me. And even though I want to be interested and I want to understand, I try, it's just my brain just can't focus. So then other people see that and they think, oh, this girl is dumb. She just can't listen to us. She can't, comprehend what we're saying. Like, she's slow, we're above her. And you can really feel like an outsider. You can really feel like you just don't fit in. But meanwhile, your brain is thinking of other things, or even more complicated things sometimes that other people can't think of. Or sometimes you're thinking of bigger things. Sometimes you're thinking of really dumb things, like, well, what am I going to eat next? Or when can I, do something more fun? When's nap time or something? But sometimes you're thinking of like things that people would never ever think of. And so that's what makes it unique. And so I myself am still trying to understand it, and also understand other people with ADD, because like I said, I used to judge them. And um and then I just thought I was stupid, but little did I know that they probably felt the same way, or at least if they were diagnosed at a young age, that helps, because then they understand themselves. But I'm sure there's a lot of people that still feel this way, and I just want you to know you're not alone, and that you're not stupid. All right, see you tomorrow.